In today's Minecraft build inspiration video, I am building up a brand new and unique windmill design. If you're excited for what's to come, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're brand new, I'd absolutely love if you would subscribe. Now let's get into that time lapse. After building up a similar windmill design as my starter house on the Metacraft SMP, I really wanted to take what I had learned from building it there and kind of revamp it and add and tweak to make it better. And of course, adding in some new 1.19 blocks. So for the bottom of this windmill, I ended up using mud bricks and packed mud with a little bit of a trim of mangrove wood, which it really gives it a beautiful fall color look, which I love. We also used mangrove wood as the roof trim, and used some unstripped mangrove wood in the tower design, as well as a small windmill on the side. With the small windmill and having the birch wood there, I love the color. That little pop of brighter color is amazing. So here you can see me putting in the windmill itself on the very top. And we went with a very different design. I found this concept art on ArtStation with this kind of curved windmill on the top of the building, and I fell in love and really wanted to try this one out. And so in the starter house in Metacraft, I ended up only doing one sail around the top, but in this one, I really wanted to try doing at least two. In the concept art, there's 4, but I could not figure out how to fit 4 around this small area. And I think adding those 2 just really works so well. I really love how this has come out. In order to make the sails look like they're actually connected to this build, I ended up using chains. For the walls here, I have used stripped birch and smooth sandstone, which again, the brighter colors against the little bit of the darker red and the like really helps this build out a lot. And then for the roof, we used a lot of orange. So one of the things I really want to push myself on in building is to use more color, and you use a lot more gradients. So here I started off with stripped acacia logs, then I went to some orange terracotta, some pumpkins, some smooth red sandstone, and of course some orange wool at the top, and I love it. It looks so fall-like and it's beautiful. I'm definitely going to be using more color in my roofs and more gradients for sure. Now we start to head inside to this build. It's tight quarters, doing replay mod, tight quarters, always going to happen, but we definitely got some work done in here. One of the things I did not want to do was to leave the orange roof visible from the interior. And I was trying to decide how to cover them and decided a little bit of dark oak stairs and then some spruce trapdoors would do the trick. And I love how it turned out. As you can see here, I have also finished off the top of the dark oak roof with some dark oak planks. I just extended the floor of the little windmill tower to cross the whole way, so we didn't have separate heights, and I think it turned out well. We also put in a few beams and a few support pillars so that we could put ourselves in a little bit of a loft here in this build. Now, this is not a starter house, this is a windmill, so this is just kind of storage for the farm, and so it's super simple interior. I did put in a little bit of a chandelier for light up top, and I do end up shortening that. It's a little bit long here. The top, we really have nothing in it, but I did end up coming down and switching out the bottom of the pillar supports with barrels, and then adding in a few other interior decorating things that I will show you in a moment when we take a walk through. For the windows, we add in a little bit of mangrove fences just to kind of tie in all those color schemes, and I don't know about you, but this build is looking amazing. I did end up putting in a few more blocks of sail for the top here and taking out that bottom platform that I had placed the small windmill in. And by just extending the sails a little bit, you now have a much fuller sail that just works so much better for the windmill. But of course, we could not stop at finishing off this windmill. We had to add in a little bit of terraforming, and so that's what we did. I put in a couple of fields here, add lots of leaves, some stone kind of fencing around the fields. We have a wheat field here on the one side, and then we end up putting in a flower field on the other side. Now, I think to really finish off this build, you would want a lot more fields, a much further path that maybe even connects to the village that is off there to the right. But it is looking absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. I really love taking some of these old builds and revamping them and bringing in some new textures and new ideas that you have after you have been building for a while. I am always learning something new, and I love that I was able to put those things that I have been learning into this build and make it even better. So in the front here, I wanted to put in a custom tree, and I was worried that it would kind of block the front of the build, and it ended up blocking it, and I wasn't really loving it. So even though I built it, I did end up taking the tree build down and moving it over to the other side. And then where the tree actually was, I ended up putting in a little bit of a pond, which I think turns out a lot better. It still has that kind of terraforming aspect that adds a little bit more life to the area, but it doesn't block the front of the build. Adding in a little bit of coarse dirt for the paths and some stones around with lots of leaves just makes this build come alive, and I'm very happy with what I was able to accomplish here. Adding in all those little details between the leaves and the rocks and the pond and of course the custom trees all makes a build come to life and make it look finished. And so here we have the final product of a little bit of terraforming around our beautiful and unique windmill. So let's go take a closer look. And so here we are at our finished windmill design, and it's looking gorgeous. So let me go show you a few of the finer details that I was not able to show you in that replay. I really love here in the terraforming having this kind of rocky border to your fields, and I've been playing around with doing some of this over the last little bit, and yeah, it looks amazing just having that little stone structure bordering your fields. And of course, leaves. Always leaves forever. Leaves add such a good terraforming and detailing to a build. Of course, we got a cute little pond, super tiny. I mean, maybe a frog lives there or something like that, so that works out as well. I should have put in some slabs for the pathway so you could just walk up, and I apparently forgot. I also added in a few leaves here at the front of the build. I didn't go all the way around in the back, but it just helps out a lot. Again, we used a little bit more of that gradient work to do the stripped birch logs up to the smooth sandstone. And I know in some of my other builds, I have transitioned that even better with some birch planks as well. But this one, I just wanted to do the two colors because over here, there's not a lot of space on the side walls. And so I just thought it was going to be better if I just tried to use the two colors for the gradient on the walls themselves. But here's a little bit of a closer look at the roof. This color scheme is definitely going to come out in my builds in future videos, but having that acacia wood there on the bottom, some orange terracotta, some smooth red sandstone, and then of course we got pumpkins and orange wool brings together those fall colors so nicely. Here for the windmill tower, we did use some unstripped mangrove wood. I did it a little bit, but I probably could have done it more. I really love that it's directional to add in that little extra piece of detailing. Here on the top, we do have a little bit of a deck. Now, logically, you can't actually get up here because I didn't put a way to get up here. But I did make it so that there is a little bit of a room up here. We have one little light and of course a brighter ceiling. If you did want to use this build in your own world or a similar design, you could add a bit of a ladder up from the loft downstairs. And of course we have our interior, which yes, you can definitely tell that this is a storage area. I thought it was really kind of a fun idea to add in the blocks of food that you could get. So like the hay bales, we got some pumpkins and some melons. I think if you were to use this as an actual storage unit, you would obviously want a few more barrels and chests around rather than just the blocks. But I think for the aesthetic, adding in just these few blocks of food works out really nicely. I also ended up adding in a few lanterns on the side here just to make it a little bit brighter and lighter so that you could see what you're doing in here. And of course, at the end, we have a little bit of a ladder to get you up to the second floor. Overall, this is just kind of an empty space up here that you could store a few things in if you wanted, or just to kind of have the aesthetic. But overall, what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this new windmill design? What would you add to this build if you were building it in your own world? So I really hope that you have enjoyed this Minecraft inspiration video that I've created for you today. Leave a comment down below what other Minecraft inspiration builds that you would like to see from me, and I would love to create something that could inspire you. So until my next video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you are brand new, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.